What's up guys, it's been quite a while. I've been pretty busy, but now I can finally record it and I think I can finish this today. So let's get started. You don't care about me at all, even though I tried so hard. Even though I really did want you to be happy. It's Cassandra. It was never about me. It was always about you. About how difficult things were for you. But you never stopped to think about me. I don't know what she sounds like, but yeah. Cassandra's list weighed strongly in my mind. I could still see it even when I closed my eyes. Cassandra's list of her own perceived negative qualities. Worried about Buddy. I think he might be sick. That was what Cassandra worried about. That was what she cared about. Something small, stupid, Something small, stupid, inconsequential. Whereas my list, did I say it right? I don't know. I was the one who had real problems. I was the one who was truly despairing. Why then? Why would Cassandra acting like I was in the wrong? I'm through with you. Do you hear? Through. Cassandra. Even when Buddy died, even though my baby, my precious darling, is dead, you still have to make it about you. It's like you don't know how to sympathize with anyone. She was right. I don't. Sorry, my voice might be dead. It's kind of dry and all that, but yeah. Of course, I don't. How can anybody sympathize with anyone when we all live inside our own heads? Sympathy, empathy, compassion. Aren't those all things we tell ourselves so we can feel good? So we can feel kind? So we can feel wise? But when it comes down to it, anybody really, truly care about anybody else? As long as life is good for us, as long as we are comfortable, aren't we fine? Isn't that how people work? Alright. Oh, going back to her. You're a selfish person, you know. I can't say a word. I can only look at Lily. My mouth parted in a small O. It's the same shape as his ring donut she likes. The exact same. Why does she like them so much? I don't know. Does it even matter? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. You're a selfish person. You're selfish because you're sad. Not for other people, but for yourself. But there are so many things more important than that in the world. You just need to open your eyes. You sure sound like you know a lot. I should hope so. After I've been alive for so very long. Hey, you're only a kid. If you start talking like that, you'll make me feel really old. I already told you, I'm not a kid. Appearances can be deceiving. Evidently, so I stutter. I can't help myself. I'm feeling more than a little overwhelmed. I have a feeling she's probably 25 or something. Oh, you never know. We don't know her age. There are lots of sad people in the world, Lily says. Almost everyone has something they're upset about. The world is a sad place, I say. It is. It's a very sad place. And there are so many sad, lonely people. So tell me this. She draws in a deep breath, clears her throat. Why do you think that you're the saddest? Why do you think your suffering matters the most? And why do you think anybody should care? My body stiffens, my shoulders shake. Never in my entire life have I been spoken to like this. Never. Apparently you gotta choose one ending or something, and then you're stuck with it or some shit like that. Cassandra tried. She wanted to understand. She wanted me to understand. She told me things. So many things. About herself. About her life. But I ignored it. I ignored it, and I ignored her too. I can hardly remember a thing about her. Only her blonde hair and her red lipstick. And Buddy. But I bought you donuts, I say almost desperately. in some sad attempt to earn back Lily's favor. Just like a scene from some cheesy chick flick, the male love interest running desperately to the airport, train station, it doesn't matter where, out in the snow, searching for the lost love of his life. Don't go, come back, please come back. But Lily's expression doesn't flicker. It's true, you did. She says simply. And I like it when you smile, I say. You do? Lily tilts her head to one side. Her light blue eyes are large and glassy. Her eyelashes are very, very long. She really is a pretty girl. Of course she is. It's because she looks like Imogen. Imogen Parker, my first love. Oops. Her resemblance is uncanny. Maybe too uncanny. That goes both ways, mister. It does? Yeah, it does. She looks at me. Her gaze is piercing. It's an expression you could cut yourself on. I broke a dish once. I thought I swept up all the pieces. I was wrong. A few weeks later, I lacerated my foot on a piece of china, hidden out of sight. It hurt like hell and bled quite a bit. I still turned up for work the next day though. That's the kind of person I am. That's how you have to be in this world. It's because you're sad that you're always looking inwards. That's why you're unable to see the obvious, even if it's an inch away from your face. I don't want you to be sad. You've thrown away enough of your life already. So if possible, I would like you to smile, she says. She says it simply, as though it's something easy, but it isn't. Not for me. It won't change anything, I tell her. Maybe not, she agrees. Then what's the point? That's up to you to decide. She's right. Of course she is. Lily has been right about almost everything so far. Why should we break with tradition now? This really is up to me. It's my decision. Nobody can make me happy but me. Nobody has the power to make me smile other than myself. Though Lily wants me to. Though she's imploring me to. But still can't make me. She still can't make me. Oh. I'm gonna have to save it here. Cause why not? Smile. Oh, that's the bad thing. What if I force myself to smile and she knows I'm smiling, I'm just not smiling? But what if I don't smile and then she tries to make, I don't know, just smile, I guess? I think, oh, XII Lily. Chapter 12? As I walk home, the sun starts to set. Walking through the gently undulating valleys, flowers hiding shyly amongst the fronds of grass, is more relaxing than I thought it would be. There isn't much to see in Wales, raining sheep and hills studded with flowers. What little Wales does have, however, it excels in. The rain in Wales is almost always torrential. The sheep are white and fluffy, like walking cotton buds, and the hills stretch out before your eyes in a vast carpet of green. I think I like Wales more than I like London. Then again, that isn't saying very much. I like most places more than London, but lack of pigeons is a definite plus. London pigeons are a distinctly depressing breed of bird, all missing legs, open sores and crusted over eyes. I used to eat my lunch outside during sunny days, at a small park, a stone's throw away from my office. After the pigeons started flocking around me, however, desperate for a bite of my cheap Greggs sandwich, I lost the heart. Watching them jostle for a crumb of tuna crunch was inexplicably soul destroying. I don't know. I heard that word before, I just don't know how to say it, man. You know? When I get home, the sky is bright orange, just like a Halloween pumpkin. The orange light filters through the windows, illuminating the kitchen in pulpy candy corn colors. Pretty. Everything the light touches seems to glimmer. The fridge, the cabinets, the table. Hazel's hair tied up in a typical ponytail. She's foregone the apron this time and is standing by the microwave, tapping her fingers against the inside of her arm. Once she sees me, she turns and smiles brightly. Her ponytail bounces. "Welcome home." "Hey," I reply, with a touch of less enthusiasm as I shrug off my coat. I wonder what it would be like to return home from work every day, to be greeted by somebody who genuinely loves me. I'd still be working the same shitty job, and I'd still be stuck in London. The appeal of a big city wore off a long time ago, but at least it wouldn't be so lonely. You wouldn't think I'd be lonely, living in the most populous city of the United Kingdom. Around a third of England's population is gathered in London, crowded together on the tube, jostling elbows like Charing Cross, hemmed in on skinny streets. But having strangers cough on you during your commute hardly counts as social interaction. There's no fondness there, no friendliness, just an awkward attempt to avert the eyes, hoping nobody looks at you long enough to judge you. Not that most people bother, they're too wrapped up in their own problems. But the thought always lingers at the back of my mind, like the last uneaten onion from a free pack in the bottom of the vegetable crisper. What if? "Hey." Hazel peers at me curiously, her arms behind her back. "Are you okay?" "I've been better." "Did something happen?" I recall my prior conversation with Lily. Her eyes bore into mine, unflinching and unforgiving, like two hard stones. "Did something happen?" "I'm not sure." She told me to smile. Maybe I should try to make an effort. It's nothing to worry your pretty head about, I say, ruffling Hazel's hair. Her gesture is much more avuncular than I would like. God, I really am getting old. Hazel doesn't look amused. She swats my hand away and takes a step back, adjusting her hair with her hands. "Is my company that repellent?" I asked lightly. "I like your company, Dingus." "Dingus? What's one of those winners at home?" "But I don't appreciate you treating me like I'm still a kid. I'm 19 now. Didn't she say she was 18? I don't know. Still a teenager. For like 2 months, you should face the facts." Hazel puffs out her chest. "Your little sister's growing up." "Nah. No matter what you say, you always be a cute little babby to me." "I have a boyfriend." "I think you're much too young to have boyfriends, Missy. You should focus on your studies." Now it's acting like a dad. Like you cared about your studies when you were at uni. "I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did." "Whatever," says Hazel, rolling her eyes. But I don't think she's annoyed. Not really. There's a small smile playing about her lips. I like making Hazel smile. It lets me think, if only for a brief moment, that I'm not entirely useless. If I can cheer my little sister up, there might be some use for me in this wide old world after all. "So, what have you been doing?" Hazel asks. I didn't see you all day." "Just walking," I say. "Walking and thinking." Sounds boring. It wasn't that boring. It's a nice change of pace. "From London?" The air's a lot cleaner, and there are fewer pigeons." "You fixate on the weirdest things, of the weirdest things, says Hazel, shaking her head. "I mean, it's London. Think of all the stuff you can do there. Must be way better than boring old Bangor." "You're the one who decided to go uni in Wales, not me." "I didn't decide to go to Bangor. It's the only place that accepted me." "You might as well make the most of it. You only live once. Seize the day." Something about carpe diem. "I'd rather not hear from you. You live in London. but you complain about the pigeon of all things. I laugh. Hazel pouts. I think she's trying to look annoyed, but after a while, she caves in. She starts to laugh too. Oh! The microwave dings over the sound of shared merriment, and Hazel jumps. That's right, I almost forgot. She mumbles on her breath. She makes her way to the microwave, releasing the door with a dull thud. This microwave is an old model. We bought it before I moved out, so it must be over a decade old. The door gets jammed sometimes, and you have to punch the buttons with Hulk-like strength to get it to register anything, but it does the job. Oh nuts, they're all burnt. More or less. What were you making? I asked curiously, taking a step towards my suffering young sister. Popcorn, but I think I left it in too long. Look. She takes the ceramic bowl from the depths of the microwave, using oven mitts, I might add, and shakes it beneath my nose. The acrid smell of burning hangs in the air. Some of the kernels buried at the very bottom of the bowl are fine, but most of the popcorn at the top is unsalvageable. They are charred black like soot and look distinctly unappetizing, like something mined from the surface of the moon. I pull a face. That's gross. I know, and it was the last bag too. I think we were running a little low on supplies. Well, yeah, Dad hasn't been shopping in a while. I don't think he feels up to it. Not after. Hazel's voice throws off. She doesn't want to say. Not after Mum died. Ever since I moved a game of Risk, the topic has become something of a taboo. There's no point dwelling on things that will make us even sadder. Living in Wales, scenic though it is sad enough in of itself. Hazel sets the bowl on the table and removes the gloves. Then she picks up the popcorn. She winces when the pads of her fingers make contact with the kernels and draws them away. Her fingertips are stained sooty black. Is it hot? I ask. Extremely. You're not going to eat that, are you? Well, I didn't make it to look at it, says Hazel, but she sounds unsure. I don't blame her. Here's a few words of worldly advice, I say loftily. I wouldn't eat those if I were you. No? No. They look like they should be in a containment facility, not in your stomach. I don't want there to be another death in my family. Not quite so soon after Mum. Guess you're right, says Hazel, but in a reticent way of one who really doesn't want to admit they're wrong. But this sucks. Life sucks. And Hazel hasn't even started working yet. Pouting, Hazel deposits the contents of the bowl into this dustbin. I really want popcorn. We can't always have what we want. I know, but it's like a staple food if you're gonna have a movie night. You are? Yeah, I found some of my old DVDs in my room, and I got kinda nostalgic. Besides, there isn't that much to do around here. What about your friends from school? Can't you hang out with them? Unlike me, Hazel was pretty popular at school. She was forever getting Mum to ferry her across Caerphilly to see all her mates. I guess, says Hazel, frowning, but they're all at uni. Ah, of course, I say. I should have known. Hazel had to take time off so she could come back home for the funeral. She should really be back at Bangor. When are you leaving? I ask. The start of next week, she says. I wanted to stay a little longer. I don't know. Well, how's Dad holding up? But I guess this will sound kind of cruel. But it's so boring here. I needed something to take my mind off of everything, or I'll go crazy. Nah, that's not cruel. It's true. You seem to be doing alright. I wonder. I really do. Maybe I need a break. I've been breathing in the smoggy London air for much too long. It's wrapped me. It's warped me, my bad. No wonder Jekyll and Hyde was set in London. There was no better backdrop for gothic horror about split personalities. Even the kindest, most mild-mannered of people can be driven around the bend after braving the London Underground for years on end. Hey, Hazel suddenly pipes up. Do you want to watch a movie with me? I don't have any popcorn, but I can make you a bowl of shreddies. I'm not sure. Our country crib? I think we'll have Frosties too. I don't know. After spending time with Lily, my head feels far too stuffed with thoughts. I think I need some time alone, a chance to relax and unwind. But the Frosties are tempting after. And it has been a while since I spent some quality time with Hazel. I don't think the funeral really counts. What movie is it? I ask. Hazel smiles brightly. She's got me, and she knows it. She really is a willy one. Toy Story. And she said she wasn't a child. Oh well. I suppose there are worse ways to spend my evening than watching Toy Story with my little sister, balancing a cold bowl of Frosties on my knees. What else would I do with myself? Lie in my room and think too much? Probably. I think far too much. It would be nice to turn my brain off for a while. If only that, for a while, could be stretched out into infinity and beyond. To infinity and beyond. Toy Story. That's a classic. Halfway during the movie, it started to rain. I could hear the droplets pelting against the window and rattling the panes. It's windy too. I wonder how the violets in our garden are faring. They were always our mother's favourites. But she isn't around to appreciate them anymore. Oops. I lie in my bed, staring up at the ceiling. No matter how much I toss and turn, I just can't get comfy. The wind and the rain continue to whip up merry hell outside. It's the kind of weather that makes me glad I'm in my home, lying beneath the covers and not out there. I suppose I'd feel even glad if I weren't alone. If I was a child again, cradled in my mother's arms, while she read me bedtime stories. But those days are long gone. I'm not a kid anymore. Hazel, despite her fondness for sugary cereal in children's movies from the 90s, isn't a kid either. She's getting older. We're all getting older. Like Great Aunt Enid. I don't want to end up like her. I won't end up like her. Will I? The thought is almost too miserable to contemplate. Even more miserable than the pigeons that congregate in London parks. What do they do when it rains? Not that it really matters. Does anything? I fly to shelter, of course. Hello, mister? What? What is she? Is she in the house now? Ah, Lily? I sit up in bed, eyes wide and stare. With my open mouth, gaping stupidly. I must look like a fish. One of those sad, pitiable looking fish you see in plastic bags, given away as prizes at fairs to screaming, sticky children. She sits on the windowsill, as if it's the most natural thing in the world, as if she hasn't broken into my home. It's late, far too late for an impromptu call like this. How impolite. She could at least have called ahead. But that isn't the real problem here, is it? How did you find out where I live? She shrugs carelessly, such a typical teenager thing to do. But she said she wasn't a child. Don't ask silly questions I've always known. Does that make you a stalker? Maybe. I've been following you this whole time. This whole time? Ever since the funeral. Ah. My voice catches in my throat. She was following me? I never realized. It's true I've been feeling tense lately, but the sad truth is, I feel like this more often than not. It would be stranger if I was relaxed. When I think about it like that, my life sounds kinda sad, doesn't it? But why is a young girl like you pursuing an old man like me, I ask. Well, there isn't much to do in Wales, you know, Lily replies with a small smile. I have to give her that one. I guess it is quite a boring place, I concede. It rains too much. I know. At least the rain makes the flowers happy. The hills around here are so pretty. If you water flowers too much, they'll die. What a pessimistic way of seeing things. I know, it's my way. I'm sorry. Why are we having a casual conversation like this? There's nothing wrong with this scenario. What's going on? You're a pretty girl. Why are you so interested in me? I ask. Lily's eyes widen. You think I'm pretty? Isn't that obvious? People don't often call me that, she says. No? No, I get called a lot of things, but not pretty. What do people usually call you? She pauses, thinking. Stay away from me, you monster. I get that a lot. A monster? Yes, it's all a matter of perception, though. Lily frowns. She looks melancholy, sitting there, perched on the windowsill, her hair tumbling about her shoulders. How is she a monster? She does not even look like one. She looks beautiful. She looks almost like a fairy, or else, I guess. Her skin is so pale, her eyes light blue, an apparition framed by the dark blue sky and the twinkling stars. Lily, I say. Yes, what is it, mister? She replies. What exactly are you? Is this the truth? She might be just a hallucination, that's what I always think of. I've sensed it for a long time, ever since I first met her. The girl doesn't talk like any other girl I've ever met. She doesn't look like one either. Her existence seems too frail and fragile, as though it might get blown away at any moment. Her slender body scattered to the breeze, just like mother's ashes. She said my mother was a teacher. That was a lie. Why then did she go to her funeral? What? Okay, it just did that by itself. I didn't click anything. Why does this girl know so much about death? There is a small pause. Lily, sitting on the windowsill, looks at me. I look back at her. A pretty girl, she really is. But is she really a girl? Yeah, she's like mysterious. So you figured it out? Lily asks. You're dropping quite a few hints. That's right. I mean, I don't think it's fair when people lose their lives without any warning, without even knowing that it's happening. Just like my mother. Like your mother, that made me sad. She was such a nice lady. I wish she could have intervened. Lily sighs. We all do it differently, but I think it's more polite to give people a few days notice. Give them some time to sort out their affairs, you know? I know. Ah, she said that. Unfortunately, it's not always possible. No? No, there are too many rules, but at least I was able to talk to you. After all, Lily frowned. I did promise. So this is it. Lily came here to kill me. This is crazy. That's what most people say. I can't believe you're a Grim Reaper. You don't look anything like what I imagined. Lily looks down at herself, blinking, her white dress lined with pale blue frills, her slender legs and her bony knees. She frowns. No, you don't think so? I mean, look, you're not even wearing a black robe. But those eyes are so uninspired. Ugly too, she says with a pout. You could at least look the part. I'll dress how I want, and thank you very much. And my head is pounding. The conversation's so surreal. It feels almost like a dream. You're going to kill me? Of course I'm going to kill you. Oh, what? You're really the Grim Reaper? You can call me that if you want. We have lots of different names. I don't much care for semantics. We, I repeat, raising an eyebrow. Naturally, Lily says, as though this is to be only expected. For a lot of people in the world, I won't be able to handle them all by myself. I snort. Some Grim Reaper you are. Hey, it's not an easy job. It's pretty demoralizing. Killing people all the time. I've been called a lot of unpleasant names. So even demons, or whatever it is Lily identifies as, have problems. I never would have thought. I guess your job is kind of like mine then. What do you mean? She asked. I work at the private health insurance company. Didn't I tell you? No, you didn't, but that doesn't really matter anymore. You won't be calling back. So, it's final then. Yes, sorry mister, she says. And she really does sound sorry. My hands are tied on this one, but don't take it too personally. It's my job. Ah. Now, why does that sound so familiar? It's a dream. I'm sorry, Mrs. Bevan, but I can't insure your daughter's health. The company's policy doesn't allow... What do you mean, company policy? The value of my daughter's life can't be dictated by some company. She's my daughter, and she... Regardless, there is a policy. I'm sorry to hear about your daughter, but... Heartless. You're heartless. All of you. What gives you the right to decide how much daughter's life is worth? Don't tell me her life is worthless. Mrs. Bevan, please. Susie. My Susie. She. Mrs. Bevan. Monster. You monster. Don't you have any compassion? Then came the tears. Mrs. Bevan was sobbing at the end of the phone, sobbing over the fate of her daughter. Even if I did give her money, which I couldn't and I didn't, it wouldn't change anything. Susie was going to die. Leukemia is a terrible illness. But a little bit of money have helped. It could buy a gravestone, afford a funeral service, even if it was much, like putting a plaster on a gaping chest wound. It might provide some small comfort for a grieving family. But I couldn't do that. I wasn't allowed, and so, even though it made Mrs. Bevan hate me, and even though she called me a monster, there was nothing I could do. It wasn't my problem. I'm sorry, madam. My hands are tied. This is my job, you know. Of course, those were mere pleasantries. It was nothing more than an attempt to avoid my share of blame. It wouldn't help anything. It didn't mean anything. Mrs. Bevan knew that. That's why she said, her voice partially indistinguishable due to tears. You would say that. You were trained to say that. But you know what? That's the Nazis said too. So I like who trained to say that. It's their job. I'm sorry, mister. I really am, she says. That's just how it is. It's alright, I say, swallowing. I understand. I can't argue with her. I don't have the right. Oh, forgot that. I don't have the right. That would be incredibly hypocritical, wouldn't it? But I still want to know. Why me, I ask. Why not you? Huh? But were you hoping for a reason? Something that you could accept? Something that would make you happy? Is that what you wanted? I suppose. Well, I'm sorry, but Lily looks at me. Her light blue eyes are swimming, though her voice is cool and mechanical. Her shoulders are shaking. She looks like she's going to cry. That's just the way life is. You're born and then you die, and there's no reason for it. There's no meaning. There's nothing. So don't try to look for a reason. And don't try to seek out an answer. There isn't one I can give you. Even though you're a Grim Reaper? Even so. Not even you know why? I ask. I don't. Nobody does. It's like trying to multiply numbers by 0 and hoping for an end product larger than nothing. It's not possible. Not for anyone. Regardless of whether you're a seasoned academic or somebody who can barely do their 5 times tables. How intelligent somebody is and how much experience they have. In the face of something impossible, none of that matters, she says. That's pretty nihilistic. I'm a pretty nihilistic person. I never heard of that word in my whole life. Guess that's what happens when you've been to so many funerals, I say. Maybe it's inevitable. With so much death in the world, it's hard to be happy, she says. But I still remember. Her voice trails off. What do you remember? Lily asked. I remember what you told me. You said no matter what, even if there's no meaning to it, you should try to smile. That's right, I did. Lily lifts her head and looks at me. Her eyes captivating. You could drown in them. How much death has she seen? How many people has she killed? Did she cry for all of them? Did she go to all their funerals? Will she go to mine? Why do you want me to smile? If you knew I was going to die, what's the point? I ask. There is no point. There's no point in anything, she replies simply. Then, but despite that, she pauses. Her lashes tremble. Her eyes sparkle. What? She's crying. No, Lily. Running down her pale cheeks, white as a ghost. I can see tracks of her tears. Slowly, very slowly, like pilgrims, journeying reverently to the promised land, they drip down her cheeks, turning them light pink. I'd like to think she would go to my funeral. I'd like her to sit at the back of the church, the same church my mother's funeral was conducted in a few days ago, and pray for me. Her head bowed, eyes closed, hands clasped together. I hope that she would pray for me from the bottom of her heart. Not that I'll go to heaven. I don't know if I believe in it. Lily doesn't seem to. But if she prays for me, that might be enough. Might be enough to make the me of this moment happy. And isn't that true meaning of life? Isn't that the true meaning of life? All you can do is try to find your own happiness. Try to make other people happy. And hope. Even in the face of adversity, you can still find some things to care about. That you can keep on smiling. I think that's all we humans can do. I just hope Hazel isn't too upset. Hazel. She's too young to go to all these funerals. Far too young. But maybe she isn't as young as I think. She's 19. Almost 20. Getting older. We're all getting older. And sooner or later, we're all going to die. That's just how life is. Oh. It's pretty sad. What's going to happen now? Afterlife? Writing. Ebi-hime. That's it? No. What if I chose not to smile? Oh my god. Really? I got the bad ending, I think. Did I? Or is it after story? That's it. Okay. Lily on the valley. Guess I chose the wrong one. I don't know. Wait.